And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
There's a decent amount of games about the stock market, but very few of them are more than just buy low, sell high. There are sometimes, a stock market game is one of those few exceptions I have to games that make you think deeply. Now, I don't mind light-ish ones like Acquire and such, but sometimes you want to play a game that just really lets you number crunch and sell shares, buy shares, watch how can you manipulate the market. Well, here we have a game by Friedman Freeze, Black Friday, which allows you to do this. The game has cartoony artwork on the cover, but it's much deeper than that. Take a look-see. Here's the board of this game, and you can see that there's lots of little colored suitcases on the board, and the little wooden suitcases. These are essentially shares. There's a pile over here, just the market. Then there's 5 tables over here, 3 selling tables, a silver table, and a buying table. The goal of this game is to get the most gold bars. To get a gold bar, you need 5 silver bars. To get a silver bar, well, you simply have to buy them. Now, see, there's a lot of aspects to this game, but it's fairly simple in execution. This is over here. This is your start tile that tells you what you can do each turn. As the game progresses and as stocks change, this will go up in number, like there's the number 2 one, and it goes all the way up to number 9. Each of this tells you several things. This tells you how many subsidies you may have. This tells you how many shares you may buy or sell each turn, and it tells you how many silver bars you may buy or sell each turn. And it also tells you how many suitcases to pull from the bag whenever the market changes. Now, silver. Since that's the goal of the game, over here is a silver track, and this shows how much the current price of silver is. Starts at 20, but it will go up. Once it reaches 100, the game is over. Down at the bottom is a track to show how many silver is bought. When the market changes, that will probably increase the price of silver. Silver always goes up, never comes down. It's a good market. Unfortunately, you can't say the same for the other 5 market goods. There's 5 of them, 5 different colors, and they start at 7. Now, on a player's turn, he can do one of 4 different things. He can buy a stock. When he buys a stock, he simply pays the price that's down there, or he can buy more stocks as the game progresses. As you might notice, when this is at 3, you can buy 2 stocks per turn. But let's say he buys a stock, he pays money, and the money in this game, unfortunately, is paper money. And you all know how I feel about paper money by this time. Bleh. But that's okay, because I got poker chips I can use instead. And then he simply buys one of the shares from the market over here next to the board. So let's say I buy a red share. It cost me 7. Then I take another red one from the market and place it up here on the buying table. When that whole table is filled up, there's a market change. Another thing I can do is buy a silver bar. I pay the price of silver, and then I take any suitcase I want, any color I want, and put it on the silver table. I can also do neither one of those and pass, and just simply take a suitcase and place it on the silver table when I pass. I can also sell a share. I simply take one of the shares, sell it back to the bank, get the money for it, but whenever I sell a share, the share price is devalued down 1 space on this board. Now, this board is a kind of a funky looking board. If you notice, there's all different numbers. Let's say I have some shares that the prices are like this. Now, whenever one of these tables fills up, I forgot to mention, whenever you sell a share, you also take a share off the top selling table and put it back into the market. So that adds more stocks to the market to buy. Whenever there is 5 shares at any one of these tables, so the ones that start here with 10, when they go down to 5, or when the ones that start with 0 go up to 5, it doesn't matter. When one of them gets to 5, there's a market change. A number of suitcases are pulled from the bag. So let's say it's during phase 3, I guess. The shares have reached the number 3. This says I need to pull 7 suitcases from this bag. So I have this big bag here, and I pull 7 suitcases from it. Oh, but before I do that, I pull out this token, and that's to remind me everyone needs to pay interest on their subsidies. During the game, you may take subsidies, depending on what step of the game. It depends on how many you may have. Each one gives you money. You know what? you never have to pay these back. Ha ha! It's from the government. But anyway, you never have to pay them back, but every time there's a market change, you need to pay interest. So this one has 1 interest. It's 5% interest. And so you might be paying the interest a lot, and you could get in trouble. If you can't pay the interest, then you need to sell shares. If you don't have any shares, then you're out of the game, and that can easily happen. But anyway, once I do that, then I'm going to pull out 7 stocks from the market. So from the bag for the market change. Now I pulled out 2 blues, 2 greens, and 3 reds. So I look down at this table to see how each price moves. You can see when I pulled 2, that means the price is going to go up and over 1. When I pull 3, it simply goes up 2. So I go back here and look at my prices. I pulled red, so red goes from 34 to 60, while blue and green, blue goes from 52 to 74, and green goes from 74 to 81. It's a really interesting way, and that all sounds all peachy keen, but here's the problem. If you pull black suitcases from the bag, and as the game progresses, you'll be throwing them in. 1 is no big deal, but every black suitcase you pull raises the price of silver. But if you pull 2 or more black suitcases from the bag, then every other share that you pull from the bag has those subtracted. So now blue is a 0, and green and red are -1, and you can see here 0 moves you back, and a -1 moves you down. So blue would go here, and red and green would both drop down 1. So the prices can fluctuate in this market, so you're watching it all the time, and you have to be really careful at these boards, because this side of the board's great, because if you need to go over 1, it will go up instead. But over here it's dangerous, because if you need to go back 1, it will come down. If you ever have 3 of the same color up here, then you also move a stock up 1. And the reason you put those suitcases up there is after the market change has occurred, all the extra suitcases are thrown into the market pile, and then the table that was full is thrown in. And you can see when these selling tables are empty, they're throwing more black suitcases in the bag. And also down here, every time a stock reaches a number and the number of the phase changes, then those black suitcases are changing the bag. You can see here on the side of the board, when a stock price reaches, see that green is, there's a little 3 next to it, then that means I'd pull out the 3 card. And that goes all the way up till you get to the 9 card, which is highly unlikely. The price of silver will probably reach 100. Now, all during the course of the game, you can sell only as many shares as the card tells you can sell. However, at the end of the game, when the silver price reaches 100, everyone can instantly sell all their stocks, buy as much silver as they possibly can, take out all the subsidies they need. They change all their silver bars to gold. 5 silver bars equals 1 gold, and whoever has the most gold bars win, with tie going to the person who has the silver bars, with tie going to the person who has the most money. I don't want to play games like this all the time, but when I do, this is one I want to play. Okay, that doesn't make much sense, but let me put it down for you like this. There are games that are really tough, critical games. You make one mistake and you are toast, but at the same time, they bring a deep sense of satisfaction, and they're just tough survivalist style games. Age of Steam style games. That's what Black Friday is to me. Yeah, there's luck involved in this game as you pull it out and you're not sure how prices are going to go up and down, but I really like that. There are different strategies you can take. You can hold on to your shares and hope they go up, but they might not. In fact, they might crash, and try to buy silver at the end, even when it's worth $100, or you can try and buy and sell when it's low. But you can fall into a pit, okay? Then they should have put this in like huge bold print. Don't sell your last share unless you have a lot of money to buy another one. So don't get rid of all your money and sell your last share, because then you're basically done for, especially if you can't take out any more subsidies due to whatever level the game's on. And so you could still win that way by having enough silver bars and gold bars. In fact, in the last game I played, someone almost did win, even though they were out for the last third of the game. So be all that as it may, Black Friday is a very interesting strategic stock market game. It is definitely not for everyone. The game has a 13 plus on the side of the box, and I think that's a very reasonable age to put on there. It's not a light game at all. You're going to be sitting there kind of grunting and groaning, but it is kind of sweet how everything fits together.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.